loudest stadium you've ever played in, I assume?
Actually, no. Definitely here. Yeah, it was a loud stadium, a great atmosphere. It was very fun to play in.
No motion penalties. How did you manage dealing with how loud the crowd was when you were on offense on the field?
Well, I can say it definitely. We actually experienced louder during the week in practice. Our ears were ringing in class, at 9 o'clock at night from how loud it was in practice. And I've never really gone through practice so chaotic and so, physically painful to your ears. So I think that probably had a big deal to do with it because nobody was phased out there. We had no penalties, like you said, and it honestly it wasn't as hard as practice was.
All year long, though, you guys do all these shifts, motion, you move and and you do different stuff each week with all that. You really haven't had that many false starts, maybe like one procedure penalty. What do you kind of credit for that? It seems like you're doing different stuff even every week.
Yeah, just a lot of good discipline by all the guys up there. A lot of practice, hard practice, and really the only times we've had those type of penalties is when the defense has done the shady stuff that kind of call them move calls and things like that. So we've been practicing those, I think, a lot this throughout the past weeks, and I think that's helped us a lot to be more disciplined, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
What are some of the things coaches and staff are doing in practice to kind of try to replicate that sound and prepare you guys for a clutch business? Just you're saying that it was almost louder than the actual stadium experience. So.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what brand or speakers or anything they get, but they get the loudest ones out there, and they back us up all the way into the back of the end zone, so where the speakers are right next to us. So it kind of vibrates in your ear, and luckily it worked out that it was so hard in practice that it wasn't that hard in the game.
Your ears, I guess, are they done ringing now? Is that kind of subsided?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope there's no scarring or anything like that in there. But it was tough during the week, but obviously it paid off. On the weekend on Saturday. So thankful that the coaches did that, Coach Canada, and made it hard on us because it helped us out.
Coach, as you said, you took a few shots downfield because you were trying to make a big play. What's it like trying to balance being overly aggressive and kind of staying within the game plan, especially against a defense like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think our shots downfield paid off for the most part. Whether we got a PI or whatever. I know I did miss the one to Gesture I wish I could have had back, and missed a few throws I wish I could have had back. So I'm just going to have to go back and try to get better at those, and so that we can hit those in the future because we got two extremely important games coming up to some really good opponents. So just got to keep getting better and hit those in the future.
That was the best game you ever played, Nathan? Going back and watching the film.
I don't know. I don't think it was the best game I played this season. I think really just numbers. People are really wrapped up in the numbers, I think. So I think there's a lot I could have got better at, could have done better, and I'm hoping to get better at those this week and, to make as many completions as I can and to put our team in a better situation. 2 incompletions, my last 2 throws of the game. Luckily, Chris is a great kicker and can still, make a 48-yarder, but we could have made it easier on him. So those are things that I'm going to go back and I'm going to work really hard this week to get better at.
What game was better?
I don't even know that. To be honest, I feel like I really haven't had my best game this year. I haven't had a perfect game yet, and they say you can't be perfect, but I don't think there's any reason you shouldn't be striving for perfection. So 2 games left, or really 3 games left, and hoping to put that perfect game together.
Hey, how is Coach Canada so good at getting you guys on point with all the things that you do motion-wise, ball handling-wise? Is he a yeller? Is he a screamer? How does he get you guys as on detail as he tends to do?
Yeah, he's got a little passion, a little enthusiasm. That certainly helps, get us motivated. But really, it's just, I think, the consistency of how much we've practiced it ever since he first got here. In our spring workouts, our winter workouts, when we're out there with the towel handing things off, and then through spring football and fall camp and the summer, all those things, I think we've just worked at it so much that our discipline's been good, and he's done a great job preparing us, and really a great job of calling games and keeping defenses on their heels and not knowing what to expect. So just look for more of that coming forward.
Handing out the towel, help?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I think it just shows, the timing of everything. I think that's the most critical point of the whole, our whole offense is timing when we do things. So, yeah, I think it helped.
Did you have, prior to this year, had you played much in read style offenses or read options, that kind of thing?
Yeah, actually, ever since my high school days, my sophomore year, we were true triple option under center, and then we kind of evolved, as the years went on. So I've always kind of had an option type of offense, and it just changes kind of who you're reading sometimes. But I think it's all kind of ties in together.
The shovel pass was pretty big for you guys against them. Did you see anything on film that you thought that look is going to be pretty successful?
Not necessarily. I think we've just kind of been hitting on those plays recently, and they seem to work out. So why not keep calling them until they don't? I think they did the whole time, and Coach Canada did a great job of mixing it up too. That it's not always the same look. I mean, you look out there and they're completely different formations, different guys running them. So it's really hard, I think, to prepare for. It was really good for us Saturday.
Is it easier as a quarterback to be deeply focused on the game when you have so many responsibilities on running plays and you're making read options, and it's not just like I throw the ball on these downs and that's all I do?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely adds a little bit to your game and what you have to prepare for, but I don't think it's anything you wouldn't want. I mean, as a quarterback, you want to make those decisions. You want to put your team in the best position to win, and you want to have an impact on the game. And luckily, this offense lets you do that. And that's a positive way to look at it. And it's a great opportunity. Really enjoyed this season, and Coach Canada, and this offense has been great for us.
Is he still adding things, or is it just stuff that he's been sort of waiting to use in a game?
No, still adding things all the time. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to go right after this probably and see kind of some plays that they've been adding this week. They're extremely creative over there in everything that they do. Our GAs and our quality control guys do a great job too of adding in their ideas, and I think we got some really smart minds in this room.
Is there such a thing as too much? Getting overloaded with that kind of stuff?
I don't know. I know we've been scoring a lot of points, so it's hard to ignore those results, I guess.
You have a pretty good head on your shoulders. You ever go into a meeting and say, hey, coach, let's try this?
He actually encouraged me to do that, in our QB meetings and things. Hey, if there's anything you like, tell me, and we'll put it in. So we definitely have had those conversations, and I think that's good for a QB offensive coordinator to be on the same page. And he's always wanted me to have suggestions into the offense, so that's really helpful. I've kind of been blessed to be a part of a few offenses to see kind of different ways to do things, but they all kind of tie together at the same point. So, he's been really encouraging for me.
You guys had that big win against Penn State, and you went on the road and played a tough place and were in the game until really the last minute. I mean, does that give you confidence that there's not a worry about you guys sort of, getting too high after something like this?
Maybe, yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess I never looked at it in the past after the Penn State win, but I think everybody just kind of always wants to win games. I think for me, especially, it's not hard because last year, we're almost close to the same point. I guess we had the loss at the last game of the season, but one of my goals going into the season was to finish the season a lot better than we did last year. So that for me is my motivation to kind of focus for these last two games and last 2 weeks of practice, and not let anything slip by, because every game is worth a lot. So you got to make sure you finish the right way.
On the 2-point conversion, after you got sandwiched by two guys, did someone grab your face mask or something? Because I saw you said something to the official when you came off the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a little extra after the play, certainly, and I think they got away with one, but I think God made it work out because, who knows, we tie it up, and, maybe their play calling's a little different, that they want to go down and be more aggressive, and, they kick a game-winning field goal, but, I think God just set it up to where, we're down 2 points, they run the ball 2 times in a row, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, we get a stop, and then we go down, and Chris has, one of the greatest kicks in Pitt history, and, one of the most resilient players, that he could show that. So just all in God's plan, I think. It was just crazy how it all turned out.
How's it feel to be Offensive Player of the Week in college football?
No, I'm not really into the awards too much. It feels great to have a win, that's for sure. Like I said, I think people may be too wrapped up in numbers sometimes. I mean, I still feel like I could have played a better game. So just happy for our team, really, to get this win for all of our guys, because it was certainly a team win. I mean, the things that happened, the pick by Salim on the goal line and the kick, I mean, there's just James's run. There's just so much that happened that went into that game. So it's awesome for our guys that we got to enjoy that moment together.
Hey, so do you have any like quarterbacks in the pros that you've ever looked up to or analyzing like a situation like that where you guys get the ball down too? Because that last drive, thinking about it, was eerily similar to Tom Brady's first Super Bowl drive against the Patriots, set up a 48-yard field goal to win that game. So did you have anyone that you kind of channeled for that?
Yeah, I think he's the standard of game-winning drives. So definitely him. And I've always looked up to Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. Had a Drew Brees poster, as a kid. In my room, but there's a lot of great quarterbacks out there that I look up to, and to have that kind of drive was something special for our whole team. I mean, Scott's catch and run after that, and the O-line protecting, and it was a very special drive, very special game.
Final question for Nate. Nate, can you talk about what it means to players to see the coach, the gesture he did with Chris and interlocking arms with the players in the last play there? How much does it mean when he does those type of things on the sideline?
Yeah, Coach Narduzzi's is the man, because those things on the sideline aren't fake. They're not just something that happens on Saturdays, and he wants to show everybody that, all the cameras that are on him, that he's a player's coach. I mean, he's sitting with us in the locker room, watching games, and, the way he talks to us, he's never, too big or that CEO type where, he's too, wrapped up in things to talk to guys. I mean, he's about football and about his players, and that's what makes him so great. And a guy that you want to play for is that, his passion for the game never gets, I guess, wrapped up in distractions, that may come, around other places. So he's an awesome guy to play for, and I'm really blessed and really thankful to have him as a head coach.
Did you notice that when you first met him, when you were thinking about transferring here? Did you see he's that kind of guy?
Yeah, I remember the first practice I was here on my visit during one of their spring practices, and I just, was watching him, and then, went up beside him and was talking to him while we were behind the play. I was like, man, you guys have a lot of fun here, and this is spring football, and I've never seen really more passion, for the game and just out there having fun, laying hits and competing against each other. And he's like, that's how you got to play the game. There's no other way to play it. And so he creates that atmosphere, and I'm just really thankful to be on this team.